Cancel one status effect or debuff any also injury. You don't see it much because it's for RNG really. RNG for player that will status affect you, and RNG for injury too. It's only 2%. So. Yeah, most of the time you have 1 or 2 injury because it's 2%. So it's like a defection. You defect a weapon. You basically defect a weapon once or twice, but just like that. With restoration, is slot machine. If you bink a jackpot there and you use your restoration all the time, yeah, jackpot for that game. You were very unlucky, so you were lucky to get your restoration that game. So people will say, "Oh yeah, restoration, dude, it's so good," but they were unlucky that game. But they were lucky that they bring restoration. But then you have scout for 20 seconds now. It used to be 16. They buffed that to 20 seconds. Most likely because on the player, on the character, not player, but the character that do use Scout, having the extra 4 second helps a little bit. So that's why they did that. So which character wants to reduce the chance to be found by 10%? That's the GP loves that. So if you want to hack your research center, and you get an extra 10% there in research center, including your optical camouflage suit and bag. You do reduce that. Is effect can be used on research center though? Its GP skill can be used on the research center, but there's 10% there, which is add up. We'll take that for GP. And the 20 second, not so much for GP, but it does help a little bit. More likely, the 20 second is more likely to Barbara. Because you can fire 2 turrets on one scout because of the 4 second buff. Now. It takes pretty much that much time to fire 1 turret, have a cooldown. Otherwise, we'll use the number of animal enemy players surrounding area. Because usually when you want to find people, you usually use noise. Noise is free. You don't have to use an aptitude to find people. But if you didn't add noise in the game, you might have more use for scout. But we do have noise, 20%. Someone on Discord told me that it was 20% to make noise when you hit an animal or a player. Don't you know that? Ambush, dude. Very main aptitude there. It's not much use for it. What can you do with it though? If you're playing Hart, you can ambush Hart. If you do your peace zone, and your peace zone, then you ambush when their peace zone is done. You might get some people from that, but you do gain some XP, but you do gain more XP from actually searching, not from doing an ambush there. Because when you're doing ambush, you're not doing anything at all. Just waiting for someone. So if you're searching, you gain more XP by searching than waiting for someone to get to find you. So that's that you can do. You can do RP zone and ambush. You can also do ambush on when there's a new research. Oh, not research. Restriction area coming. If there's a new restriction area coming, you know that people might join your area. So you can ambush before the new restriction, but that's also something you can do. What else can we do ambush? The last 3 area you can do shenanigan with it too. And the less there is area, the more if you will meet people, of course. You can do ambush with Alex too. Alex can use stealth and ambush. So you see noise, you can go stealth, go to the noise location, and then you can ambush them. You can do that too. And not take any damage, but you can just do stealth and attack. That's pretty much the same thing. Because you attack them before they have time to attack you back. Because you are on stealth, and stealth is 90% chance to be found. You attack them with stealth. Very low chance that we have time to attack you back if you move fast enough. So if they were to buff that, maybe they could buff the reduce the 7 second there. But if you do go too low, it will become too much. But as a late game, it could become something of a problem. Less area there is, and if you reduce the 7 second there, you could do a lot of ambush on people without getting it back. Because when you ambush someone, you don't get it back. So and you have accelerate. Accelerate is I'm pretty sure that's the most popular one. Bread seeking because it's the default one. So if you don't have anything, sure, bread seeking is there. Half of the time, people play just play accelerate, the one we're talking about here. Why is this so popular? But it's the most stable, and you can actually spam it on cooldown. Uh, you spam a skill on cooldown, that's mean you use it a lot. And some character benefit from having more stamina. It's just like Emma here. See here, Emma, she only on 100 stamina, so use she has very low stamina. She always stay on 100. So if you have accelerate, it helps. Also, we didn't say that we can switch from location faster from that. We don't because when you move to a new location, you have a cooldown. There that we just changed to beach there. We had a cooldown to switch again to the new location. See it here, like 2 second, right? Yeah, 2 second cooldown. And if you use accelerate, you have no cooldown. Most famous thing we used to do is building rush stack on accelerate because there's no cooldown every location. But since it's now only 3 stack, not as much necessary to have always accelerate on Sylvia. When there's a new execution area, people are moving to a new location, and if you don't want to get hit, you can accelerate and move to the new restricted area that was previously closed. That was pretty really restricted without getting hit by someone. So you can that's another thing you can do accelerate. It's pretty versatile. You can use it, spam it. It's the most popular one. And you have counter attack. It's very advanced because you need very good stamina management to be using it. Unlike accelerate, which is a little bit easier on your stamina. You don't always have to craft a stamina item, but obviously if you're using counter attack, you have to be on point for your stamina. Otherwise, you will be resting a lot. And if you do rest a lot and you're using counter attack, just use accelerate. It will help you get a better result in your games. Because if you're resting a lot and you're not using, because counter attack to get the max value from that, you want to use it on cooldown, and it's 30-second cooldown. That's very aggro. It's more aggro than Sisala there. That's why it's the ultimate for Sisala though. Because 40 seconds, she has 40 seconds on a cooldown for pain stack, so you can always have counter attack for that. You don't want to do a stack, so every time you need your stack, you can do a counter attack and maintain your stack. Also, another thing, basically we'll have to carry a stamina item all game long. Unlike on accelerate, sometimes you can run a little bit on stamina and without a stamina item in your bag, but if you're using counter attack, you most likely always have a stamina item. So it's heavier toll on the bag. Also, other thing to mention about counter attack, it's also people can work around it though, because for maximum of 2 seconds, adapt counter stance. But you can when you get hit by counter attack by a player, I mean you know after that they use counter attack, so you can try to dodge it after that. If you expect someone to counter you, you can just use your field skill while because it's counter a normal attack, so if you use or skill attack. But if you use a field skill, you can't use counter attack on that. Dodge that, or you can wait before attacking them, or yeah. There's also that they can play around counter attack. And then you have when you're playing gun or bow, you have the two aptitude for that. So arrow supply when you're playing, because you didn't have, I was not there, but when I started playing there, we always had ammo supply and arrow supply, but back then they didn't have that, so they had to carry arrows. And even then, the gun and the bow that you found in the game, they were empty too back then. So you had to reload the new bow that you just found before you can use it. And you couldn't use an arrow supply or an ammo supply because it didn't exist back then. So you have to pick up bullets or ammo. So you reload that. But so right now, people using bow or gun, they're basically using the. You can still do it without that, but it's more difficult. Like a character like a Yejin, which she's double mastery. Like a Yejin here, she's and bow. So technically, you could use accelerate. It's quiver infinity, and it's a kind of annoying one because you need gold, and you also need to craft a bell, which requires scrap metal. So I guess something that could be done though is using purple maybe. Because purple now gives you scrap metal. So kinda help you kinda. But the thing is, you rather yes, there's so many things you can craft with scrap metal, and the bell is like the last thing you want to craft when you have scrap metal. Also, something I didn't say about the arrow supply is also it reloads up to your quiver. But if you have a quiver equip, you get the reload from the quiver because quiver gives you extra arrows you can carry. You see here the quiver infinity is quiver 14 shots. For 7 shots plus 14, so you have 21 shots total, and your arrow supply will recover 21. And same thing for gun, you don't have to carry bullets too. And you don't have to go to the hassle of creating a no reload weapon, but they're more difficult to craft. And it still require a blueprint. The railgun is pretty easy, but the blueprint is not the easiest thing in the world. You don't always get the front pen, you don't always get your doggo, so it's more annoying to make. And blueprint, you can use it for something else again. Kind of slow you down from having to craft that, obviously. Same thing for the plasma rifle. TV is an annoying one to get, and you can also use the TV for the helm too. So the last one is a Gatling gun, but dude, since you have 50 shots, it's basically like a no reload. You only need to reload it once. You craft it once, and you will only need to reload it once. Basically, like no reload. Gatling gun will last you, but it's a difficult one to craft. And also, last thing about running no ammo supply, it makes you more difficult when you go for Kelty too. Right, have to carry because let's say you didn't run ammo supply and you did no reload weapon like you said, it kind of block you from doing Kelty. Kinda because you still can carry bullets for your Kelty, but it gets a little bit annoying for you though. Also, the fact this aptitude gives you a crude silencer, and then when you have one space left in your bag, you have the crude silencer. It takes 2 seconds done, and you do for 5 shots only, and you get the normal 20% noise with that. Having a crude silencer makes your noise back to 20% like everyone. So why does it matter? It matters when you want to most likely kill an animal without having everyone messing with you. Pursuit, like we saw in the number, we don't see much pursuit. Is it's probably inflated a little bit because usually new player thinks it's a good one, but it requires a lot. There is a lot of if there. Plus 3% to find enemy. It can matter for the last area because if there are multiple people in the last area, people are using dodge stance if there are multiple people in the last area. Unless they're playing something like a Rozzi. Rozzi can do offensive stance in the last area with multiple people, but usually it's dodging stance when there's multiple people because you don't want to get it double, triple, and quad hit. It's usually double hit because there's usually last area there's 3 people alive. Portrait caddy is a thing you can do because the caddy skill is very annoying, and if you keep resetting the cooldown on that by hitting the person back by using pursuit, it's something that's the most annoying. Tell after one use that's oh, this person is using pursuit. So next time I'll be careful. So it's another thing, just like counter attack. Oh, this person is using counter attack, so I can work around it. Person has restoration, and I'm playing caddy. This means I probably won't bother sending arterial on him because I can work around it. And you can only pursue to someone that's weaker than you currently. And if you in most of your game, you usually have someone that's better than you in the game that you're playing. Rare that you are the best player in your lobby. Sometimes it works, sometimes it does not. Not 100% foolproof that you'll be using a pursuit. And the cost is same thing as counterattack, it's high. So if you do pursuit, you can potentially get your cleaning device kill there. So potentially Luke is a kind of a character that you could potentially use pursuit. I didn't think about it because I barely play Luke. I didn't think about Luke at all, but it might have something for Pursuit on Luke because he does benefit from killing people. He gets a permanent buff there. I'm also blind beats Pursuit even on this character that's benefit from killing people. It's just ammo supply simply better. You don't have to bother with the no reload and bullets. So that's pretty much it for us here, Aptitude wise. We did cover a lot of ground, and there's more than one Aptitude. You have option here, and there's not only one. For sure, accelerate is easier, but when you get your fundamental on point, uh, you can see that there's more than one option. That's it for now. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.